Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a ton of new content in Hockey Ultimate Team, new Team of the Week, new Prime Times, and with that came quite a few X Factor upgrades as well, so we'll get into that. Guys, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out, and see if we can't get like 200 likes on this video. Again, that helps with the algorithm and all that. All right, guys, let's get into the new content. All right, guys, let's start out with the Team of the Week and the cards that I think have some impact for you. The 91 Johnny Gaudreau with applesauce, as well as Gladiator, Puck on a String, and Elite Edges. Told you guys this throughout the season that I think Elite Edges is one of the better zone abilities, especially for wingers, and the ability to make those cuts very, very quickly. I would only activate it on like the first line though. Because of its cost, I don't really think that you should use it on anything other than your first line because they're not going to see the ice very often. 95 speed is 95 speed though, and I know that he is 5'9". Regardless though, as it stands right now, like I said, that's one of the faster cards in the game that is not a master item or, you know, Matt Duchene, for example. So always a pretty decent card, Johnny Gaudreau. As the season goes along, though, his value will diminish as the faster or the bigger players get to be a little bit faster. But this is a fine card, especially if you're looking for a top-notch left-handed winger. Then we've got the 94 Sidney Crosby that comes with Magician as well as Fly the Zone and Silver Tape to Tape, which I think is a great combo there for your centerman. He's got a great face-off rating, good defensive ability or defensive stats as well, and Big Tipper. This is the kind of reason, guys, why I've been less than kind when talking about certain X factors. So, for example, Sidney Crosby's X factor, I don't think it's all that great. However, this 94 right here has 93 speed, 91 acceleration, and across the board is all very fine and well, and you can get him for much cheaper than what it would cost to build up Sidney Crosby all the way. And again, I do like this Sidney Crosby's abilities. I don't think Backhand Beauty is one that's all that fantastic. I think that this is a fine card to use at center. There will be better ones for sure, but you are going to have to pay quite a bit because he is 94 overall. But still, nonetheless, this is a good card. Then we've got the 94 Matthew Tkachuk, and 94 overall, and finally is above 90 skating. 6'2" with close quarters and crease crasher. Close quarters, I think, might be one of the most overpriced zone abilities because it is a very good zone ability, don't get me wrong. However, 10 is an awful lot. You'd have to run Crash the Net, in my opinion, because you got to have your forwards above the faceoff dot for it to activate. This is a great card, though. Like a left-handed winger that goes all, you know, that 6'2", great shot, great hand stats, no doubt. He's getting to the point with the synergy combo that now, if he continues to fall in price, I mean, I packed the 93 Matthew Tkachuk, and I think I sold him for like 55,000 coins. We're getting to the point now where he's actually pretty usable. However, I wouldn't spend anything more than like 100K on this card, to be honest with you. I still think like the base Connor McDavid would be just as good. But nonetheless, this is still a very good card. NAZEM KADRI moves up to a 91. He's got Puck on a String and Third Eye. Not really big on these zone abilities or superstar abilities. 6 foot, but very good defensive stats. Is a lot like the Sidney Crosby card. 90 speed, 90 acceleration. Just not very, nothing special about that skating stat. 6 foot, though. It is very difficult to find decent left-handed centers, and the defensive abilities make up for it. So I think this is a fine centerman if you are looking for someone that's left-handed. And again, he is going to be a bit cheaper because he's not a superstar by any means, and 91s aren't involved in any sets yet specifically, so I think you could get him for a decent price. Patrick Kane moves up to a 92, Gladiator, and has Distributor. This is one of the better left-handed cards because of that skating. 5'10", but 94 speed and 96 acceleration. Shots basically maxed. Unstoppable Force, I really don't think works as it's supposed to. And Tape to Tape, I'm not big on this one on wingers because more than likely, I know me personally, left-handed wingers are usually the players that I shoot and score with as opposed to righties. So I'm not huge on activating Tape to Tape on left-handed wingers for me because I just don't pass the puck with them very often. And I would recommend you go and take a look at your team's stats and see if you really, cater to one side or another. But his hand stats are all phenomenal. Defensively, he's going to be a bit of a liability with only 81 body checking and 5'10", but Patrick Kane is still a very, very good card right now. ANZE KOPITAR gets a 91 overall with gold, quick draw, and born leader. This is a great first line center for anyone that started out of the holiday season. Great defensive stats, gives you gold quick draw, which is a very important zone ability. Skating obviously going to be an issue, but it's 6'3", that more than makes up for it, I think. And born leader on your top pairing or your top line is very, very effective. I know I harp on Austin Matthews' X Factor, for example, or Draisaitl. The reason why is I don't think their abilities are very good, but ANZE KOPITARs right here I think are great in a combination, and I think this could be a very, very good left-handed centerman for you. On a defenseman, Seth Jones gets an upgrade, 88 overall, 6'4", bombarded, as well as spark, and has truculence and stick him up, a nice combo. If you don't have any of the master set right-handed defensemen, maybe you don't have Carlson or Burns or anyone like that, this is a great option for you. 89 speed is fine for someone that's 6'4", with 90 acceleration and spark activate. He's got good defensive stats, and again, that truculence is one of the better abilities that you can get, especially on defensemen. Same with stick 'em up, so I think this is a fine option, again, for anyone that's looking for that non-master set right-handed defenseman. CLARKE gets an upgrade to 88 overall with elite edges. Not a big fan of elite edges, but speed gets up to 90 with buzzing activated, as well as a gladiator getting his body checking up a little bit higher. Again, a nice, decent-sized right-handed defenseman. For anyone that is still using maybe base cards, things like that, these are the kind of cards I would look out for, as he's a pretty decent one. It's hard to find those middle, or those high 80s, low 90s defensemen that aren't extremely expensive, so decent option here. In net, we've got the 84 Jake Oettinger, 6'5". He's got 83 speed, but 70 aggression. Oettinger cards have been very good. I know that his master set card has been phenomenal. Again, now the stats are a little low. The reason why I want to point this out, as stats do matter, they impact how quickly, like frame by frame, your goaltender will move. So obviously the higher, the quicker he will move frame by frame. When it comes to bigger guys now, we're getting to the shot totals that are in the 90s, whereas the lower overalls you might have to improve upon. Also want to talk about the backup is the 84 Talon Boyko, 6'8", with 80 speed and 68 aggression. Now, I just mentioned that the speed stat is extremely important, as are the other stats for goaltenders. But 68 aggression and someone that's 6'8", I would love to see if anyone tries him out in the comments section, because 6'8" is wild. On to the prime times, we've got the 89 Filip Forsberg, 6'1". He's got workhorse as well as spark and buzzing. Great combo there, 90 speed, 91 acceleration. This is a card I would look out for to see if you could grab on the cheap if he goes for the bare minimum of what 89s are, which is about 40 to 45,000 coins. I think this could be worth it if you don't have any of that top-end right-handed X Factors or Master Set players. For holiday players that just started around the early beginning of January, this is a decent card to look out for. This KREIDER also gets an upgrade, 6'3", has spark as well as thief on him. Now, spark is going to get his speed up to 91 at 91 speed as well. So you've got a great quick card that's 6'3" with low 90s shooting total. This is a really nice card to go out and try and get. You know, going into the All-Star game, I think he might be one of the better cards. If he can win fastest skater, it's not going to be very easy, but it's not outside the realm possibility. And right now, this is a nice left-handed winger card that's huge, that's quite quickly. Like, he will compare a lot to the Team of the Year, Mikko Rantanen. David Pastrnak moves up to a 92, Light the Lamp Applesauce, as well as Gladiator. 94 speed, 94 acceleration, and 96 agility. David Pastrnak cards right now are almost endgame across the board. He's got great hand stats. His shot total is almost perfect, and he's getting into that mid to high 90s speed. Great card. I mentioned that he's one of the better X Factors because he is guaranteed to hit that high skating early on, and just a really, really safe card. But if you can't get his X Factor, his prime times are fine. Like, you don't need to upgrade these very much. Panarin also gets an upgrade with buzzing as well as Gladiator, getting his speed up to 95. I haven't been a huge fan of Artemi Panarin cards just because I feel like he gets knocked off the puck a little too easily, but 95 speed, 94 acceleration, max agility. His shot is basically max, as are his hand stats. This is still an extremely good card. It's going to cost you quite a bit, but again, if you can't afford the X Factors or the high-end right-handed master set players, this is a very, very good card. And then we've got Mitch Marner, who, again, much like Panarin, Panarin. I just feel like he gets knocked off the puck so easily. Comes with Light the Lamp applesauce as well as Booming Shot. If he is going to be your first-line right-handed winger, I mean, Elite Edges and Close Quarters is a nice combo with Close Quarters being the superstar ability. 92 speed, 94 acceleration. I do think there are better ones out there. You would have to get quite a discount for him because, again, I'd much rather have PASTRNAK or, I mean, even Panarin at this point because of that skating, but still a very, very well-rounded card with these abilities. Taking a look at the new X Factor updates for Marner, he's got Magician on there, but I would probably stick with Gladiator. Then he's got Fly the Zone, which can get his speed up, or Distributor to match, just Fly the Zone to match that 94 acceleration that he's got. And then I would throw Booming Shot on, and you've got Max Agility and a pretty decent body checking stat. I'm just not a huge fan of Third Eye and Tape to Tape. Tape to Tape on a right-handed winger isn't bad. Again, that's going to depend on your size. And then I do like the superstar ability of Elite Edges, but again, I just feel like he gets knocked off the puck too easily. I think there's better X Factors to go after. Panarin's X Factor gets Distributor at tier 13, which is pretty huge. As well as Gladiator you can go with that gets his body checking up. That helps out quite a bit. 96 speed, 94 acceleration at that top end there. I'm not a huge fan of his abilities, though. Again, I just don't think that there are any that are really that impactful. Still a very good card, like I mentioned. And then the 92 David Pastrnak also gets his third spot, and it's with a skating synergy, so he does have buzzing. 95 speed on the board there. Again, has Gladiator as well, and Booming Shot, which can basically get his body checking into the 90s. Still, like I mentioned, one of the better X Factors that are right-handed to go after. If you've got him, I would continue upgrading him. Taking a look at Crosby's X Factor, the 94 has Fly the Zone and Distributor, obviously with that update. Then has Thief as well to max out his defensive stats. And you can go with Booming Shot to max out that agility. Again, I just don't love his abilities all that well. I mean, Tape to Tape in Elite Edges is nice, but I don't think Magnetic or Beauty Backhand or Unstoppable Force are really going to help him. And again, I've mentioned that as the game goes along, I like to have bigger centermen when their speed matches up. Just not enough to separate him from the pack, essentially. Still a very good card, nonetheless. Seth Jones gets an 88, and his X Factor becomes a little interesting. He gets Distributor. Speed goes up to 91. You can go Booming Shot there, as well as Thief. And again, he hasn't really been relevant for quite some time because he's kind of fallen behind, but that 88 is pretty impressive. Again, Distributor as well. I would go Booming Shot probably there to up his body checking, and then probably Thief to help out with his defensive abilities. And then he's got a great trio of abilities for defensemen. Shutdown, Stick 'em Up, and Quick Pick. Still a very strong option. Like, if you have him untradeable and you don't have, like, Burns or any of those bigger right-handed defensemen, this is a solid option still. Kopitar's X Factor now up to a 91. He gets Bombarded as his next tier. Not really super thrilled at that. 90 speed, 88 acceleration. But does have Quick Pick as a centerman and Tape to Tape, which is nice. A very, very well-rounded center. I just think that he's a little too slow compared to some of the other cards that you can go out and get that will be a centerman. He costs quite a bit right now. Obviously, 91 now getting into that 3 and 4 collectible phase. If he gets another skating synergy, like possibly, which he might have the option to, would have to see. Like, if he gets Workhorse, that would be nuts. I think that'd be a really, really big improvement for him. Do need to mention, guys, Alex Ovechkin actually was put on the COVID list. He will not go to the All-Star game, and he will be replaced by Tom Wilson, so expect to see that set come into the game in the next little while. I probably would not invest in Alex Ovechkin cards unless they tank to around 45K, but I just thought I would throw that out there. And also, for anyone that is wondering about the new Hut Champs set, they did update the new trade-in features, and I want to do a whole other video on that, so stay tuned. I'll have that up for you tomorrow morning. But guys, thank you for watching, for all the new content. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.